Hello, this is Kevin Benedict, SMAC Analyst with Cognizant. SMAC stands for Social, Mobile, Analytics, and Cloud. Reporting live this week from Sapphire 2013. I have the unique pleasure of being able to sit down with Samir Patel, who's the General Manager of Enterprise Social Software.
You got it.
All right, with SAP. Now, this is a fascinating topic because here at the show, we've heard that you have 10 million users of SAP Jam, which is an 800% year-over-year growth. You have 60% of those are paying.
Yep.
Now, that's a very interesting number because I have the opportunity of teaching these social strategies workshops worldwide, and a lot of the CIOs that I'm talking with haven't yet figured out the role.
Sure.
It seems like many of them are doing proof of concepts, but they really aren't figuring out how to rock their world and transform their business with it yet. Tell me, what is the power that you see in social collaboration, and what's the secret to actually getting adoption?
Sure. So I think, one of the problems with how we've talked about social collaboration in the enterprise for the last 6 years is that we race to talk about a solution without defining the problem. So we looked at things like Facebook for the enterprise and said, well, if this works in the consumer world, we'll just pick it up and dump it in the enterprise and people will come. And they didn't come. And if you look at the typical buying behavior of CIOs, they're looking for there are discrete areas and functions in their organization like sales, marketing, product, supply chain, ERP. They're looking at, when I look at new technologies, how is it improving the operating efficiency or revenue or risk management across these different functions? And the problem with social is that we've been again saying, you've got to use blogs and wikis and magically you'll see value. And they've bought technology for a really long time and they get that doesn't quite work. So they haven't had that aha moment. So what we did with SAP Jam is we stepped back and said, forget applications, forget social. Let's just figure out what happens in the day in the life of for core personas in your company. Your sales leads, your marketeers, your customers. How do you interact with your suppliers? And you figure out that part of it's transaction, which SAP has been known for 40 years, and part of it is unstructured work. And so we infuse Jam into those very applications so that social shows up where you need it. And it becomes an enabler to a problem you already have, or an opportunity you have, versus become a social enterprise. And then, we hope it'll work out, right? And that has been the defining sort of design ethos around SAP Jam, where we're not trying to shove social down the customer's throats. When we're talking about their core customer service problems, their core sales and deal cycle problems, supply chain. And where it makes sense, Jam is the collaborative fabric that goes across these investments, cloud or on-premise, and shows up in a way that's contextual, how you work. So that's a big difference.
So I went to the information booth earlier and I said, where do I see the social Jam or SAP Jam? And they said, you know what? SAP Jam is not a distinct platform. It's part of everything now. So you'll find evidence of it in every booth here. What does that look like, though? Give me some examples.
So, the idea is this, right? So you're right in that you'll see it in our applications. HANA Cloud Platform, it's a service in there as well. What that means when you do it this way, it's one social layer. And going back to what I said earlier, right, where it's about your personas and how people are actually working. So I'm going to take a sales rep as an example. If you had to follow a sales rep and see what they do, maybe 10-15% of that time is spent in transactional CRM. But the rest of it is spent in, I need to get updated and enabled on products. I need to find experts on deals I'm working on. I need to collaborate on documents. I also, until the commission check comes in, the sales process isn't over, right? So I need data from order to cash. I need my expenses managed. Jam lets you, embeds into CRM, lets you live there, lets you pull in the data. That's just those 5 data points through ERP and inventory, wherever that might be. Jam brings that to you and notifies you, so you don't have to keep hopping in different places. And it starts to bring the right data and the right collaborative metaphors to where you are, versus a systems view of thinking where I've got to go to 5 systems for 5 different things. So when you see jam is everywhere, the idea is that, you know, it needs to show up across those core 4 or 5 processes that make up 70 to 80% of your day. That's why you see them.